She's living the dream.
Yes.
She's enjoying herself. She is road tripping, not just here around Arizona, she's road tripping in other countries. Our managed mom, Rachel Harris, is here with us. Good morning, Rachel. How are you?
Brad, I am well. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. So I'm going to set this down because I want to get really into what's going on here, because I got to bring up that I love that you said, you know what, the kids are gone. What is something I always wanted to do?
Yes.
And that was travel.
Yep.
And you could have easily said, well, I'm too old, when you're not.
No way.
You're not old. And you're like, oh, well, I just don't have the energy. I don't want to do this. I'm going to sit home and knit and get like 4 or 5 dozen cats and just feed them all.
Well, I do have cats and you knit, but you know what? You can still travel, right?
Yes.
And you know, that was my dream. And thanks for having me on the show to do my road trip with Rach segment.
Yeah.
And as you know, last year we did Arizona. And I am going to get back on the road in
Okay.
wonderful AZ. But all summer, we took our 21-year-old daughter to Europe.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've already covered Amsterdam and Paris. And today it's all about London. London
Yes,
calling.
London calling.
London.
So let's talk about it, because also, too, I see you have some nice tea here for
and
me.
this is real tea. So
real tea.
cheers, Brad.
Do we say cheer or cheerio?
Cheerio.
Cheerio. Cheerio.
And then
Okay.
we will dive in to the video. Peach mango. So good. And there's also some biscuits, some cookies
Yes,
for
some
you.
biscuits. I love that. So, okay.
But let's dive in, because I
Yes.
brought a lot of video.
What do we have here?
Here we are in Paris, because I've talked about it before. We flew to Amsterdam and then took the train to Paris and London, because it's cheaper to fly to Amsterdam than into Paris and London. So that's a great way to save money. We took the channel. Have you taken the channel?
Yes, I've changed. And it's the weirdest thing in the world, because you're going, okay, Paris is, you know, over here, and there's a lot of land here.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of water to get to England.
Yeah, and you go underwater, but I couldn't really get good pictures because it's just dark. You don't really see anything. That is the beautiful St. Pancras London International Station. So much history, and that pretty sculpture that I love is called the Meeting Place, because it's supposed to evoke the romance of travel.
Yes.
I love that
I love
so
it.
much.
So this is good.
Yeah.
So traveling, I mean, you love this where you get out to travel and stuff. So, all right, we made it to London.
Yeah,
What's
let's
next?
talk about where we stayed.
Yeah.
I love where we stayed, and part of the reason I love this is because guess what? We used our Marriott points to trade for our rooms, so it is worth joining those programs. This is a Sheraton Grand London Park Lane. Here's our room. They upgraded us to a suite, which was a nice surprise, and there was the bed for my daughter. And a lot of the Europe rooms are smaller, so it was nice to be upgraded because this was a bit bigger. But when you're packing for Europe, do keep that in mind, that most of the rooms are going to be smaller, so you're kind of living out of your suitcase.
Yeah.
Again, this was roomier, and there are several things in this room that I absolutely loved. One being, check it out, the cute little Dalmatians, because you know 101 Dalmatians was set in London. And then also having closet space was nice, because again, not all of the rooms are this spacious, which is why I recommend joining one of the hotel clubs and saving up your miles. And the next shot is really important. Make sure you get a room with a safe.
Yes.
Because you have to be careful of pickpocketers.
So let me ask you this, and it's so funny, I haven't been there in a long time, but do you still have to leave your passport downstairs with them?
No, you don't have
you
to
don't
do
do
that.
anymore. Okay, when I would travel, that's what you had to do.
No,
just
thank goodness. Yeah, I'm glad about that.
What's next?
Okay, so what's next is we did, you know, I always say start your trips out with a tour.
Yes.
I've done it by boat, by train, walking. This time we hired a car for a half-day London trip, and I recommend that. We booked it through Get Your Guide. You know, there's Viator and Get Your Guide, and of course he took us to Changing of the Guard.
Yeah.
It was a half-day tour, and what's great about going to Changing of the Guard is it's free, and you need to see it. But there's something funny coming up. So this horse was nuzzling up to me, so the tour guide said I could pet the horse, not the reins, but there was a passerby that walked by and said, you're not supposed to touch the horses.
Yes.
So if I've offended anyone watching from the UK, the tour guide said I could.
That's
so I don't
the
know.
tour guide, and he probably was wrong, and now he got you in trouble.
I don't know, he's born and bred
Thank you.
there.
You're no longer welcome to London, Rachel.
Oh,
no
I
longer.
know, according to that person,
Yeah,
but supposedly if you don't touch the reins. So I don't know, Brad, but I guess I got away with it, but it was so fun, and I love doing the Changing of the Guard.
Isn't it beautiful? It's amazing.
And just listening to it as
So,
well.
I
You know,
love
it's
it.
so nice.
So,
all right, so next, have you done the London Eye?
London? No, I have not, because that was never built when I was there.
Yes, it's been around for about 20 years now.
Yeah,
So
gosh,
I
it's been that
took
long
my
since I've been.
daughter, and we really enjoyed the London Eye. What's cool about this is that it takes you on a nice, slow, relaxing ride, kind of like a Ferris wheel, over the south bank of the River Thames. And it's a great way to get good pictures. So here's what the capsule looks like that you get in. And they do a good job because it is the most popular paid tourist attraction in London, but they time the tickets every 30 minutes, so it never felt too crowded.
Nice.
But that brings up another good point. Go to Europe during the shoulder season, before the kids go on holiday, as they call it, because there'll be a lot of less lines and all of that great stuff. And I got great pictures. But later in the show, I'm going to show you some more things we did in London, including ABBA.
Oh, yes. You walked the path? You walked on the, did you? Do the Beetle Road?
No, we didn't do that. I can't believe we forgot that. Next time.
All right, next time. All right. So thank you, Rachel.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
She said she'll be back later on in the show, and we'll talk to her more about the Managed Moms trips and everything. Don't say that. I'm going to say it. Hey, welcome back as we're talking here. A road trip with Rachel. As we mentioned in our first half, she's living her dream of traveling around and reporting on it, what you always want to do. The kids are gone. And one thing was going to Europe.
Yes.
And we mentioned before, too, use those points.
Yep.
Join those clubs. Even right now, you could join a club. And they will actually give you points for joining that club, which is really nice.
We saved up 5 years of points on our American Express card, transfer them to Delta, then to KLM, use those points to fly to Amsterdam. Cheaper to fly to Amsterdam, took the trains to Paris and London, where I'm going to take you for the right now, second part of the show.
I know, but really quick before, I want to say that what she has done as a managed mom is that she literally, when she is shopping, when she's looking at things, she looks first at what points you're going to get before you buy, and I think that's very important. Am I right?
Yes, and then put a lot on that card where you get the points, pay it off at the end of the month, so you don't accumulate debt, but you accumulate the points. Because some of these programs are really good, and that's partly how we went to Europe. Let me tell you.
Okay, let's go. Where are we heading to?
All right, we're in London town, London calling.
London, yes.
So a friend of ours said, take your daughter to breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh,
so there we are at the Tiffany Blue Box
breakfast
Cafe.
at Tiffany's?
Oh, so fun.
Yes.
So good. And of course, it's the Tiffany Blue, and you're walking into the restaurant, and there's pictures of the jewelry, but of course, didn't shop, Brad, I was good. And then of course, Audrey Hepburn, I love this because she is enjoying a croissant, which is just perfect, because that's what we did, and the breakfast, and of course, a lot of champagne, and the latte. Best latte I've had was there. And again, go to these places early in the morning, get ahead of the crowds, which is what we did. The food was phenomenal. The service, this yummy Eggs Benedict pictures coming up that I want to go back and have again. But here's the thing, it was in Harrods. Have you been in Harrods?
Yes. It's like
look at this place.
It's a museum.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it looks like a mall, but it's all the department store, which is world famous. You know, it was built in 1849, survived in 1883 fire.
Yes.
This is the champagne bar. We didn't partake because we had already had too much champagne at breakfast at Tiffany's.
Right.
But this place has 7 floors, 330 departments, and over 5,000 brands. And make sure you make that part of your London visit, because it really is an experience. It's more than just a department store.
And you said something very important, that's going early. And if people pay attention, you actually are on a different time zone when you get there. So your morning could be our evening.
Yes.
And it works out perfectly for that. So,
absolutely. Okay,
right,
Brad, we did ABBA.
Yes.
We went to ABBA, and it was so much fun because, as you probably know, it's actually the digital version of ABBA. They built the stadium just for ABBA, and it's called the Voyage Tour, and we went ahead and paid a little more and went into the Voyage Lounge first, which was beautiful. You got away from the crowds. Again, boy, we had a lot to drink, didn't we? More champagne as I'm going through this segment. But, oh, my goodness. And then we got the tickets actually on the floor, which was actually less than money than some of the seated.
Yeah.
Now, you can't take pictures once the musicians start, so I bought a program. See how crowded it was?
Yeah.
Everybody was so nice. They danced and sang. They didn't push each other. So what they are, they're the ABBA group from 1979. It's their real voices now, but it's avatars, as they call them. So it's digital, but it feels real, and there's real musicians on the stage.
It's amazing.
It was so much fun. Definitely go. They are there through May 2024, maybe extending it to 2026. It was so much fun. Who doesn't love ABBA?
I love it.
Right?
This is awesome.
Yeah. And I brought one more video because, as I keep saying, we started in Amsterdam and we ended in Amsterdam. So we took the train. Now, there we are in the taxi in Paris, which, by the way, taxis are great. Uber, the Tube underground train is phenomenal. And the train station in London, the St. Pancras, is a gorgeous station. That is the premier Eurostar train lounge. which I loved. I stayed
Yeah.
there. My family went out into the main train station, which I should have done because it's like a mall.
Right.
And there are pianos that people can play. Next time, I stayed up there because I avoided the crowds.
Well, yeah, after all the traveling
Yeah.
stuff,
Oh,
it's
and I
nice.
was tired. In the next picture too, we're wrapping up. You'll
love
see
it.
I was happy, weary, tired traveler. Oh, I don't know if we're gonna get to it, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
but again,
oh my goodness, it was
love it.
all just amazing, Brad.
And these are great tips for people, again, getting out and traveling, moving
Yes.
around, taking the family and stuff when
Oh
they're there.
yeah, you learn way
So-
more traveling than in a book. And
Yeah.
all the links to everything I showed is on my blog at managedmoms.com.
I love it. All right, where are we traveling to next? Very quickly.
Vegas.
I love it.
And
I'm
I'll
going.
be back to tell
I'm
you
going
about
as your
Vegas.
travel husband.
Let's go.
Because I never see the picture of your husband in these. I was like, where's he at? He's there,
I
but he's
think he
taking the
was in
pictures.
one of the pictures.
All right. Hey, thank you.